guys, Bella here. Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me today. On today's video, I have another set of watercolor paints that I'd like to share with you. Paul Reubens did contact me and asked me if I wanted to share this with you guys and review this product. And I was more than happy to. I know I've shared another set of watercolor paints from them quite recently. A nice small set of 24, which was this one. And I really liked the vibrant colors that they had. And they did say that this particular one had 52 colors and a few accessories, and I thought, okay, I'd be interested, and I'll tell you why in a second why I agreed to another watercolor set, because I think it was the colors that attracted me, but the description of the colors. I haven't tried them out, I haven't had a look at them yet, so we're just going to open them up. So that's the box, sorry. They're the MEILIANG watercolor paints. So a lot of you may have come across them actually, guys. So previously MeiLaing, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, had launched sets of 48 and 36 watercolor paints, and they were also they are also very commonly known as pretty excellent paints. I know I came across them, and that's the time I wasn't even interested in watercolor paints, but I saw them a lot on a lot of colorists' channels as pretty excellent paints, and I remember that because of this logo right here, the little parrot, and so I do remember them. And like I've mentioned before, I was toying with the idea for watercolor paints for a long time, and this is the set that kept coming up for me. And but then eventually when I bought myself a set, which was a bit later, it was Paul Reubens, but it was this Paul Reubens, so not the pretty excellent paints, but it's still a Paul Reubens brand, and I think I'm quite a fan of their products, of their watercolor paints. I'm really a fan, and so I was happy to test this one out. So it is basically a 52 color set now of MeiLaing paint, so also known as pretty excellent paints if you've come across them. And yeah, because I sort of had heard of them, I decided that I would be more than happy to try them out and see what all the craze was about these paints. So this is the front. Sorry, I have opened it. I don't want to close it again. I'll probably struggle to open it again. But that's the front cover. And that's the back. So we get, it says here, MeiLaing solid watercolors, and it gives us a little bit of description. It's made from Arabic gum, so it'll probably have quite a good finish to it. And all the colors that we have there. And there are supposed to be 40 premium colors, 10 macarons and 2 metallics. And so what attracted me was the fact that it had the macaron colors, because none of my other two sets that I have the macaron colors. So that's what's attracted me to this particular set, and it gave me a little bit something different to what I had. So this is the set, guys. Isn't that beautiful? So it does come in 2 color options, and I just noticed, actually, I didn't realize I got the purple one, but I just noticed there's a little sticker on the box that indicated this particular box had the purple one, and the other color option they have is blue. So you can choose between 2, so whatever your favorite color is. I quite like this, actually. I would normally go for blue, but this is quite nice. So yeah, that's what the front of the box looks like. Sorry about that glare. And the back is just plain. Oh, mine has a little mark, but that should come off. It's watercolor paints, isn't it? Yeah, that'll come off. All right, and then it has a little clasp here that you just open, which is really nice. Makes sure it's going to be kept nicely shut. It's not just going to pop open. And then that's the inside. All right. So with this particular product, basically MeiLaing has done, like I said, 52 colors, and it's an upgraded set to the previous 36 and 48 set. So you get some additional accessories as well. So what you get is a pencil, a drawing pencil. I don't draw, so that doesn't really help me. It's a B. But those of you who can draw, you get a pencil. So that's brilliant. You get a black fine liner pen. I'm going to assume, because it's with the watercolor set, that it should be waterproof, meaning that they should probably not smudge. Ooh, I can't get it out, guys. There we go. Pigment liner 0.5, water-based and water resistant. Exactly what I expected, because it's with watercolor paint, so you would want to make sure whatever pen you're using doesn't smudge when you use watercolor paints over it. So there we go. So that's really nice for those of you who like watercolor painting as not just in your coloring books, but you'd like to go and do it outdoor, for example, your own sketches. Having a set like this with a pencil, a pen, a brush, and then you also have, the brush is quite nice actually, quite like that. It's I'm assuming a size 5. I like that it's clear. That's quite nice. And a little sponge. So it's really handy to have to take with you on the go if you're someone who does sketches or painting your own things. Now, I've seen sponges with certain sets before. I don't know what it's used for, so let me know, please, guys. I'm very new to watercolor painting, so I don't know what that would be used for. So yeah, if you know, let me know. Then you get a little booklet of all the colors that are in this set, I think it looks like, because we have a gold and silver there. So those would be the metallic. Yeah, and it says 52 colors. Brilliant. So we have a swatch card that we can swatch directly onto if you want to use that. And this is the other accessory we get with it, is 10 pieces of watercolor paper. So it is wrapped up, but yeah, 10 pieces of watercolor paper. So that's amazing. So those of you who like to do your own watercolor painting, which I think I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to try and do my practicing as I carry on learning, because there is one book, I don't know if you guys remember Paul Reubens' Animaux de Bois book. I'd done a few editions of leaves and stuff, but with my watercolor pencils, however, using a brush. So basically using them like as if they're watercolor paints. So it would be nice to learn how to do particular kinds of leaves or flowers that I could add to my coloring pages, and it'll be nice to play around on watercolor paper. So that's nice as well, especially for those of you, again, that are into watercolor painting. And then these are the colors that we have. So these are the 52 colors, and fortunately we don't have to peel every single one of them. For the set that I bought myself, which is the 48 Paul Reubens one, this one I bought myself. They did not send it to me. Each pan was individually wrapped, so I would have to unwrap it. But the other set they sent me, the 24, and now this one you don't have to. So that is really good. I guess you could use this actually, can't you? It's got a smooth side, guys. So those of you who don't have like the Caran d'Ache palette for using with your water-based markers and your pencils, it does have a slightly smoother side and a slightly rougher side. I would have to see how rough that is for pencils and crayons. But yeah, you could always use that, or you could use it with your paints. But one thing I'm seeing is there's no palette for mixing. So I'm just going to see, obviously this, I don't know if this comes off easily. Sorry guys if I'm making too much noise. Yeah, there we go. So you could always take this off, and then you have a little, the lid basically you can use as a palette. Yeah, I was wondering, that it's quite surprising that we didn't have a palette to work on, but there we go, we do. It's not removable, but obviously with watercolor paints it's easy to sort of spray water, wipe it down. Obviously for me, I think it makes more sense to have a removable palette. Yeah, this one is not a removable palette, because I think it's just easier, less fiddly to clean up. But yeah, at least we have a palette there. Most watercolor paint sets would have the inbuilt palette into their lids. So yeah, there we go. Now 52 colors, and we have some macaroon colors, and that's what I was really interested in, and that's why I agreed to this watercolor paint set to try it out. Because yes, I've never tried Paul Reubens. I know this is the MeiLaing range, but I've never tried their metallics, and I have that on my wish list for a long time. I just haven't taken the plunge yet to get the metallic Paul Reubens set. But anyways, we have 2 metallics to play with, and we have these beautiful macaron colors, and that's what I was really interested to see, because I don't have that, and I thought it would be nice to have, because I've used Neocolor 2s previously to do sort of a pastel tone, like a peachy sort of background. I have a video on my channel for that particular background with Neocolor 2s, not with watercolor paints, but it was sort of these kind of colors that I used, and I really liked the effect of that sort of a background rather than always an intense bold background in my coloring pages. So I thought that having some macaron colors would be really nice to play with. And as you guys know, I use the Albrecht Dürer pencils, and they're not that many pastel toned colors. They're very vibrant colors. So this definitely adds to something that was missing in my collection. So we have some sort of peachy pinks here. We have beautiful purpley colors here. That blue looks macaron to me. These ones here, a little bit of a turquoise, but I feel that might be a bit more vibrant. But they said 10, so I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which one would you say is 10? That one, maybe. But yeah, there we go. So I was really interested in those macaron colors. Now, what I have noticed is I don't think these pans are removable. It doesn't look like they're individual. Are they? I don't want to ruin this. Oh no, you can sort of remove it, but I don't think it's individual plastic pans. I think, do I want to ruin it, guys? Are you guys that interested to know whether they come off or not? Because sometimes I know people would want to reuse their pans, but I guess once you finish your watercolor paint, you can always just fill it up again, right? You clean it out and fill it up. There we go, that's coming out. Okay, I don't think I'll ruin it. Let's take it out. Oh yeah, there we go. It is individual, guys. I thought they were just sort of stuck into the inbuilt palette. This is plastic as well. But yeah, those are individual, so you can remove them. I don't know if they would have replacements. This looks smaller to me than a half pan. I don't know if this would be like could consider to be a quarter pan. I'm just going to check their other range, which I think was half pan. They look a little bit smaller than this set, which is the other range that they have. Yeah, so I think this is more close to a quarter pan, possibly. Yeah. Yeah, I am excited to try them out. I think yeah, let's try them out. I'm going to swatch them out, and then we can see how we feel about the colors, see how they work, and take it from there. We can discuss it a little bit more then. All right, so what I'll do is I'm going to swatch it out on, I don't want it to be too slow. Oh, let me not mess around right now. Do I want to do it directly onto this? It is in order, I think, coming down. I think pale orange, apricot. So I could do it in order onto here directly, or I could do it on the watercolor paper. Do I want to mess the water? I'm going to do it on their swatch sheet, because at least it's all written out for me and I don't have to worry about writing it out again. So yeah, what I'll do is I'm going to do this to music, and I'll be back with you and we can see what the colors look like together. All right, so let's go for it. Okay guys, so here are the 52 colors, and I think they're beautiful. So they're pretty much dry, and I wanted to see that they kept their vibrancy, because as I was painting, first of all, yes, lots of pigment coming out. You did see me picking up quite a bit of paint, but that's because it didn't stay wet, because maybe I'm a bit slow. So yeah, I had to re-wet some of them when I was doing the swatches, but and I'm still learning how to use watercolor paint, so it's not the best swatching over here, but it sort of gives us a rough idea of the colors and the vibrancy that you get from these paints from using very little paint. They are beautiful colors, and those macaron colors, I'm not disappointed. I'm so glad I agreed to review this set, because these colors are beautiful. Now, for those of you who do use watercolor painting and maybe use them for portraits as well, I think there's some really good tones that you could use sort of as a base. Maybe if you have the skill to mix colors also for the rest of the shadows and highlights. But there's some really nice peachy tones there. There's certain browns that can be used for darker skin tones, so I think they're really nice colors there, even for someone who's a bit more experienced with watercolor paints to use for like their portraits. Not something, I'm definitely not at that level yet, but those macaron colors for me are beautiful. So I love those peaches. These purples did not disappoint. They look so lovely. That's a bit more neon-y, so I think that's the other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 maybe are the macaron colors. And then if we look at the metallics, they give a good shine, don't they? Look at that. Gold and silver, the ones we would probably use the most. So that is brilliant. Really, really nice. And I'm just trying to think, I guess that's silver. It's not really translucent. I was going to say, if you didn't use too much pigment, if you used it very thinly, maybe you could use it over pencils that are not water-based to give it a bit of a shine, but yet the color below shows through. But I think it might sort of give more of a silver, like it might change the color a little bit. So that would be something to try. But those are beautiful metallic colors. Just makes me want the Paul Reubens set of metallics now. But anyways, these are lovely colors. You have some lovely macaron colors. You have lovely greens. I was so glad that the yellow greens were there, because when I use pencils, those are the kind of greens I use, especially that one and that one. I love the deep green colors here, like the hooker's green, and that viridian green is beautiful. And even this tallow green, I like that. These turquoises are really good. I was trying to say turquoisey greens, but turquoises are really good. I love the blues here. And then I love that they have the really deep colors. So we have an indigo, which is lovely. And I tried to sort of water it down for these two, just to see what they would look when they were watered down, especially for backgrounds on a coloring page. So they're really nice dark colors, and you can get a nice color even if they're watered down. Then we have a Payne's Gray, which is like a very dark, it has a hint of blue basically in it, sort of. That's really nice. I love this dioxazine purple, really lovely. And that color, look at that, the bright purple. So yeah, I really like these colors. And then you have the browns. Now obviously you don't have grays, but you can mix white and black, either of these blacks. So there's a coal black and an ivory black. I probably watered that down one too much, but you have a couple of blacks to mix with your white to get grays. I wouldn't use grays for what I use watercolor paints for in our coloring books, but for those of you who do use watercolor painting, I'm sure you'd already know how to mix colors if you needed grays. But you have some lovely browns there. Basically we have all the colors, don't we? The blues, yeah, lovely colors, guys. And again, we can mix colors to get lighter yellows or darker yellows, or ready more. We have the reds there, so you can mix the color. Yeah, so perfect palette. And I just want to show you, this is the, I can't pronounce it, this one, all right, that I've reviewed on the channel before, again from Paul Reubens, but that particular range, and it's the 24 set. And I think some of the colors are slightly I'm just going to see. No, I think we have a good range of, a good difference actually. We don't have, I guess that's a lighter tone of this one, maybe. Permanent Rose. Or no, that's probably similar, but we have so many more colors here which we don't have on this set. So for example, here we didn't have any turquoises. You would have to mix the colors to get it, and if you don't have the skill to do that, like me, I'm glad we have it here. So that's beautiful. And just looking at the intensity, now this particular set of the MEILIANG watercolor paints is £29.99 on Amazon UK. I just checked, for a 52 set of colors, which gives you a beautiful range, some pastel tones there for people who are not very experienced with watercolor paints to mix up colors to give you pastel tones. So we have it set there, which is beautiful. And for all these additional accessories with some watercolor paper and these additional accessories, I think £29.99 for 52 colors plus all these additionals is really good, don't you think, guys? So yeah, I think I really like them. I'm glad that they have dried and they still kept their vibrancy, which is really nice. For that price, it's a very affordable price for all these colors with additional accessories, and I'm so happy with those macaroons. I'm so excited to try and use them. Shall I try and use them? Let's try and use them. I'm not very experienced, as you guys know. I'm still trying to learn, but how about we just give it a quick shot? Nothing fancy. I'm not going to do a whole page or anything like that, guys, but I have this book here, which is a Korean book. I haven't colored in it yet, so I don't want to start a whole page, but they have some test pages, so I thought maybe that would be worth trying it on because it has watercolor paper. I don't know if that's the actual name of the book, which color do you like, but I've been lazy and I haven't actually translated that. I got it from Book Depository before it closed down. That's the ISBN if you need it, if you want to try and look for it from somewhere like Etsy or something. Oh no, that's not, there we go. That's probably easier to see. Yeah. All right. And yeah, so basically this set, I'll show you some of the pages. I think you guys may have seen the pages before. Just going to move the paint so I don't get it on my book. So we have two sets of pages in this particular book, but we have a colored version, so we can obviously get inspiration from those pages. And then you have two sets to color. So I would love to use one set maybe for my watercolor pencils. As you guys know, I use my Albrecht Dürers, which are watercolor pencils, so that would be nice. And then I can have another set that when I get a bit more experience with watercolor paints, I can then play around with watercolor paints. But if you look at the colors in this book, so for example, look at that little dude there. I think he's part of this particular illustration, and then obviously we have the clouds. But look at the clouds. The colors on those clouds are so lovely and pastel toned, and we have them in this particular set. We have some of those kind of pinks and the little bit of the purplies. That's really nice. So this set will work really good with this book because of those more slightly pastel toned colors that they use that the artists use is for the certain elements on their page. Like look at that umbrella. Yeah, it's not a very bright color. Yes, or dark color. The rest of the colors are a little bit dark on that page, but then you have an umbrella which is quite macaron colored, I would say, and the clothing, her pajamas. So it will be really nice to play around with this particular set in this book. Look at that. Yeah, so those colors would be these macaron colors. Now I need to get more experience to be able to do something like that, but we have some test pages here in the front. Shall I zoom out a bit? Can I? Yes. All right. Sorry, I hope you guys could see all of that. I'm not going to copy any one of them, but I thought maybe I just want to test maybe the colors. So if I look at what the cloud looked like, so we had pinks and purples. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but let's give it a shot. There's no harm, is there? It's just a test page. So let's try and do the clouds. Yeah. So I'm going to use, you'll see, you're just about to find out how inexperienced I am at using watercolor paints, but I think I'll learn enough to do it in coloring books. I'm going to use this particular set, the My set palette, rather than have to clean that one out, because at least this one pops out and I can go and clean it separately. I've done a review for this one on the channel as well, in case you guys do want to check that one out. I'll try and remember to put it in the description box below, okay? But I'm going to keep this just in case I need it. All right, so I'm going to use this color, possibly the Peach Blossom, maybe. I have no idea what I'm doing, guys. All right, we're going to put some there so that I can make sure it's not too bright. And I'm going to use some purple. What purple will go nicely with it? Maybe shall we go for the lavender purple? So that one, or the lilac? Maybe this one. Let's go for this one, okay? We're going to try. Bear with me. For those of you who know how to do watercolor painting, bear with me. I have no idea what I'm doing, but we're going to give it a shot. Okay. I just want to see what the color looks like on an actual line art rather than just a swatch. And so I thought I'd show it to you guys too. All right, I'm going to do this last one here because I would like to try and do what the artist is doing here, or teaching here, to use all those different colors. So I'm going to leave those for me to practice, and I'm just going to use these paints here. I've used very little. I'm quite nervous about using watercolor paints still. I'm going in with the purple now, or the lilac. What was it called? Sorry, I should use the right words. That's the lilac, and that was the rose pink, right? No, the Peach Blossom, sorry. These are beautiful pastel tones. Look at that. So yeah, these will look really nice on pages where you do want pastel colors. Look at, like, just looking at these colors together and imagining a nice pastel toned background. That would be really nice, wouldn't it? But yeah, I have no idea what I didn't really have a plan. I just wanted to see what it looked like within line art. But I like those colors. Look at that. That looks so soft, doesn't it? I know it's not a work of art. I didn't expect it to be, but I just wanted to see how these colors would look. And sorry, my page keeps bouncing. I'm very used to using minimal amount of water with my Art Dura pencils, and so it's something I have to get used to when I'm using watercolor paints. I think you can use more water, obviously. I'm just not used to that. And I use minimal water with my Art Dura pencils because of our coloring books. Most of them are not watercolor books, so you have to be a bit more controlled with your amount of water. But I love those colors, guys. That looks so soft. Hopefully you could see that. Obviously I need a bit more experience with these with any watercolor paints, but I think that gives a really nice soft pastel tone look, and I really like that. I like those colors. So guys, I would recommend these colors. I think they are beautiful, vibrant colors. You get really nice dark tones, you get the pastel tones, you get a couple of metallics. So a good all-rounder set, especially for those of you who are just starting out like me. It's a nice set to just play around with and have fun with. For $29.99, 52 colors and a good variety of deep colors, dark colors, pastel tones, metallics. You have your white, you have your black to mix colors. I think this is a beautiful set to have. And yeah, like I said, you get the 40 premium colors, you get the 10 macarons, the 2 metallics, and then all these beautiful accessories. So you get some watercolor paper to play around with. Watercolor paper is not cheap, so to have that in a set just to try out is really good. And then the additional accessories, I like fine liner pens which are water resistant, so that will be fun to play with. Tell me what the sponge is for if you guys know. And you get a beautiful little brush to use as well, so that's really nice as well. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this very affordable set, I would say, for what we're getting. All right, guys, I'll leave you to it. I hope you liked watching this video. I hope you liked seeing me struggle with trying to play around with watercolor paints. I think I'm a long way away from doing any color alongs with it on the channel, so please don't ask me. I'm still playing, I'm still learning, but I am getting a good idea of what different sets of watercolor paints have to offer, and I think from the other two that I have, this definitely adds a little bit extra for me to my collection. All right, guys, so that was the MeiLaing watercolor paints, also known as Pretty Excellent Paints, a nice upgrade from their 36 and 48 sets. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So I'll leave you to it, and until the next time, take care. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.